We're ready to start, so welcome everybody. My name is Marco Bertuglia with Infinity Futures. We have here with us Luca Facchini from San Diego, California. He's the founder of Consistent Trading, and he's the developer of the My TradeAssist app, which was developed exclusively for Sierra. So thank you for coming. Before I start, I wanted to remind everybody about our risk disclaimer. Trading futures and options on futures and retail off-exchange foreign currency transactions involve substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not indicative of futures results. Remember this disclaimer, guys. You find it in our pages and advertisement material, webinars. It's really important whether you're an amateur or an experienced trader. You always need to be mindful of risk, leverage especially. And since we'll be talking about algorithmic trading, you want to definitely be mindful of the fact that past performance can never really predict or guarantee the future. To start, we have a unique presentation, I believe. I'm pretty proud of this. Those who know me, who have followed me in the past years know that I've put quite a bit of an effort in the last 8-10 years to bring solutions to the retail trader. Luca, you got to put your mic on mute, please.
Okay, I will do it.
Those who know me, I was saying, know that I've been very involved in the last 8-10 years with algorithmic trading. I've been trying to really put a lot of resources and time in bringing algorithmic solutions to the private retail traders. I believe that not necessarily that discretionary trading is inferior, but all things being equal, I do believe that algorithmic automatic trading has an edge compared to the discretionary trading for reasons that I will I'll tell you later. I am not an expert on algo trading. I'm a fan. I don't think you need to be an expert. You just need to know the foundational basics knowledge about market dynamics, about reading your stats, being able to track your stats, and being able to have a sound methodology that is good on paper and then transfers in a way that interacts well with live market environment. So before I wanted to start with the presentation itself of the algo, the platform and the application, I just wanted to, sorry, I don't know why it's doing this, the PowerPoint, but anyway, I wanted to touch briefly on some of the concepts that I think are important for everybody that is listening. And some of these concepts, you want to feel free to basically go and review them yourself, but they are important, especially when dealing with trading, algorithmic trading, and the difference between discretionary trading and systematic trading. So based on decisions made sometimes at the last minute, so sometimes emotional decisions, versus a set of rules that are preset in a formula and they are calculated by a computer or a machine. By the way, here at the bottom of this page you can find the Investopedia definition of algorithmic trading. So a system basically that is using mathematical formulas run by powerful computers. They don't have to be that powerful. It doesn't have to be anything out of the extraordinary or anything out of the reach of the private customer. And this is one of the great things, I think, not only about what Luca, Consistent Trading, and My TradeAssist have been doing. This is great about nowadays markets. I don't think there's been any better time in history to be a trader if it weren't for market conditions. Volatility, yes, is low. Historical volatility, implied volatility, any parameters that you can look at across the board, so not just the VIX, but even if you look at commodities, yes, we are in a very low volatility environment, but as far as access to resources, access to talent, low cost, I don't think there's been any time in history that has been this great for the private trader to be on the same playing level of the institutional trader or the professional trader. And Sierra is a great example that is bringing you all this technology for relatively cheap, if not free, for those who are moderately active. Anyway, so these are some of the definitions that you want to be familiar with. What is a black box versus a gray box? Black box is basically just a trading system whose logic is completely obscure and blocked and is not customizable. A gray box might not have a logic disclosed but has customizable inputs, and My TradeAssist is especially this is a great box. Optimization versus curve fitting. You want to definitely go review this concept, especially when it comes to backtesting on Sierra, if you're doing the replaying, if you're using continuous futures versus regular futures with aspirations. Back testing and forward testing. So going back with a replay functionality or testing your algo in the live markets environment. Regarding Luca, I've been working with him for 15 plus years. He's a friend, is definitely very involved as a developer and as a trader. As a manager, he has a very deep background. As you can read here, whole is basically his ventures and his experiences, everything that he's done in the past. You definitely can appreciate the depth of knowledge that he brings, and we are lucky at Infinity to have him. And especially we are lucky because one of the most important things that I want to point out to you, this application that we will show in a few moments is exclusively built for Sierra. I haven't seen anything else similar to this on Sierra, and this is basically a preview of an application that for Infinity customers right now is not available elsewhere. So definitely you want to take advantage and you want to find out as much as possible about it. So mytradeassist.com is his website, and you will find resources. By the way, there is an ebook there that you can download and register for free to get it regarding algorithmic trading. Moving on, this is one of the reasons why I believe that algorithmic trading and systematic trading has an advantage compared to discretionary trading. Again, I have nothing against discretionary trading. I think all things being equal, discretionary trading has a little bit of an edge because of the superiority of the human mind to make faster decisions. I think that at the end of the day, though, the human mind is also vulnerable to impulses and emotions and lack of preparations. And so if we assume that we have 3 steps towards success in trading, let's say that there are 3 steps that you have to reach success or create a successful strategy on a discretionary, let's say discretionary strategy. So the first step would be to create a logic, a sound logic that makes sense on paper. You have your parameters, you have entry style, your trend management, and so forth. The second step would be to test this strategy on a live environment. So you do your back testing, your forward testing, and even that comes out with a positive result. So your strategy is sound, back testing works fine, you see forward testing is fine. Then the biggest problem that most of you will have is with the last step. And this is why I said that there is going to be a gap about 80%, which will affect as much as 80% of the results, because the last gap is the execution gap. And the execution gap might mean A, you don't pull the trigger on your strategy. B, you might be sick. There might be an error. Your stop, you might forget to put the stop. You might lower your target or increase your stop. There is so many factors that will affect the last step, which will ultimately cause you to have a much less consistent and usually speaking, less profitable strategy. So if persistence wins over genius, I think this is definitely one of the classic examples where having an automated system, having a preparation, having a systematic matrix that can do the job for you beforehand definitely help. You don't have to go algorithmic way. You don't have to automate everything in your process, but the more you automate, the more you prepare beforehand, the simpler is going to be to execute, and the more consistent your overall trading process will be. It might not be perfect. There will always be adjustment, but I think this is one of the advantages of having an algorithmic process or a semi-automated process. So again, this is what I've been saying. You don't have to have a $10 million algorithm created by Goldman Sachs. I think technology is so that nowadays every private trader can access and can build an algorithm, or can hire a developer to build an algorithm relatively cheap. Sierra has the advantage of providing you with some, basic structure. And perhaps My TradeAssist, the app that we will show in a few seconds, will probably be one of the solutions that might actually fit your needs. Again, it's not a black box. You will see it. You can actually customize it and make it so that it fits your existing methodology as well. I think Luca wants to go over a couple of slides. Luca, if you want to take over this and why you created My TradeAssist, and then we can go to the kind of a...
Marco, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you well. So
okay, you can stay online. We can talk at the same time if you want. It's no problem at all.
I'm going to try to be as quiet as possible and not to...
All right, cool.
Go ahead.
Thank you for everybody to be attending this webinar. I appreciate the opportunity to explain and illustrate the My TradeAssist software. Marco did a great introduction on pros and cons of different kinds of trading. In this slide, you probably see the slide, right? They say discretionary trading, systematic, and semi-discretionary trading. So a lot of traders, I used to be a broker, and I know the weakness of a lot of beginners, and everybody start pretty much as discretionary trading by going maybe to a couple of seminars, buying a couple of books, and start trading in real time after very little backtesting, pretty much by learning the basic indicators, and then normally the final result is never very good. It's possible to obtain good results in the short term, and sometimes it's kind of, maybe it's luck, maybe you're in sync with the market, but usually in the long run is not a successful adventure usually. So it's difficult to maintain performance and concentration for days, weeks, months, and mentally, whoever, I'm sure many of you did day trading especially, psychologically is very tasking, it's very, very heavy, and to maintain the same performance is very difficult. It could be a week where you have, I don't know, the flu, or something happened in the family, and then suddenly you just destroy 3 months of performance in a week or 3 days. So the other approach that a lot of people do is the quantistic, systematic, or mechanical. I do that. I develop trading systems that used to manage money, and that is a great approach too, but it's not easy also mentally, psychologically, because you have to trust what you developed. And so for some people it's great, but if you want to actually be involved in trading and input your own ideas and actually pull the trigger, that's not the best thing, because in the moment that you have the systematic trading approach, you have to have the computer doing the job for you, and you have to trust the statistics created by the system, and hope that in the future the performance are similar or even better than the past. So these are the two main trading approach that we have, and I felt, and with Mark we talked many times when we used to work as a broker together, that there was a need to create a gray box kind of trading, so something that is semi-discretionary or semi-mechanic. So a mix of the two approach that I just described. And I think that with My TradeAssist and My TradeAssist Pro, I kind of fill the gap between the two approaches. Marco, if you want to switch maybe to the next page of the PowerPoint. This is kind of boring, so I'm not a very boring person. I'm more practical, but just to make sure that you understand that there are advantages using algorithmic or semi-systematic trading compared to discretionary. First of all, money management and risk control. Marco knows very well, and I saw it many times with my clients, is that one of the main problems with the traders that start trading, especially day trading, is that they don't put the stop loss. And the fact they say, oh, it's a mental stop loss, I know when to get in, I know when to get out. Yeah, it's nice mentally until when the markets start to move against you, and then suddenly the stop loss becomes bigger and bigger, or actually doesn't exist anymore, and you exit at the end of the day with a huge loss. So one of the advantages of the My TradeAssist is that it's going to place a stop for you no matter what. Of course, the stop can be moved and modified on the chart, but at least you know that you have a stop loss there. And if you move it, it's your responsibility, pretty much, you know. At least somebody is going to place a stop loss for you. And many times this doesn't happen if you do discretionary trading. The emotional trading part is kind of taken care of by the fact that the algorithm is going to look for trading opportunities for you. You're not actually the one making 1,000 calculation and thinking, okay, now it's time to look for the divergence, and now there's a crossover of the moving average, and now it's time to enter. The algorithm will place an order for you. There will be an entry, there will be a stop, so the risk is defined, and there will be at least one target, if not two targets, based on different parameters that we will see after. There will be an over trading. There are different values that you can use on the algorithm that will make you trade more often or less. The software will be less active, but generally speaking, is not a very active. There is no over trading. One of the other problems that we noticed in the past is that there was a lot of over trading. So people were trading way too much and without any logic behind that, and usually that is also a recipe for disaster. Another thing is that portfolio diversification, you can use this algorithm on 2 or 3 markets at the same time, and also or on the same market with 2 different time frames, for example. And so in this way you will have a diversification of different time frames, or also logics, and also different markets. So it will allow you to diversify your portfolio better. I developed this for professional traders, so that was the need, and then we scale down the My TradeAssist for the retail, but there is also the My TradeAssist Pro version that is available if somebody wants to go a little crazy. The My TradeAssist and strategy are monitored constantly by me, and making sure that everything is still working, and if there is any modification or upgrade that need to be done, I will definitely do that. And because the market are always changing, and you know, I think the software is great, but there's always room for improvement, and so there will be probably new release of the software, and so just to make sure that it's not just something that is thrown there and nobody cares about that anymore, because we are also using this for our trading. So Marco, if you want to change that. So yeah, again, there are really, to take advantage of this, there are like 3 trading solutions. You can get the My TradeAssist software available only on Sierra, and you can start to play with that. And we did a beta testing with few clients, and we noticed that people have the tendency to get lost because this kind of new approach, and if you don't have somebody helping you out a little bit, is difficult to take full advantage of the algorithm. There is also My TradeAssist Pro for the professional trader. I put coming soon because actually it's already available. I will show you after. But the bottom line is that if you don't know really how to use the My TradeAssist basic version, if you go directly on the My TradeAssist Pro, is very, very challenging. You basically have to do a course with me, or I have to teach you exactly how to use it. And in order to help with starting out with this kind of gray box new version of trading, Marco and I developed this Total Trader is a algo training course. This is basically helping people that, it's better actually, I believe, to be kind of neutral or virgin and have zero knowledge of the market almost, because we noticed that the people that have been using this for a while, they input a lot of their ideas, and that's great. But at the same time, it also can create confusions because, you see maybe signals that are going against what you believe the market is going to do or against your studies. If you can implement your studies with this, is great. So one of the things that I think is going to be great about My TradeAssist is that it can be used by itself, or if you are an expert trader or you have something that works for you. It could be anything from market profile to volume profile to Fibonacci, I don't know, whatever works for you. And you are looking for a reason and excuse to pull the trigger to enter in some areas of the market, and you're a little trigger shy, whatever. If there is a good signal, I almost guarantee that 90% of the time there will be also a signal from the software, and that will manage the trade for you. Again, everything is, you can also move the target, move the stop, I'll show you now, but at least you don't have to do the pulling the trigger part. Marco, what do you say? Do you want to go ahead and talk a bit about this, or we start to show the software already?
Yeah, just basically wrapping it up on the slides before you go ahead and set your side of the charts.
Okay.
I would say that basically everybody, professional traders, really know that it's important in trading, since we are dealing with probabilistic events and it's all based on odds. That is, they constantly strive to look for an edge. And I believe that with something like this tool, you can get an edge over the 50-50 chance in the market, because at best you're going to be 50-50 chance anytime you start a trade, you open a trade. The odds are going to be slightly against you because of the slippage, because of the cost, because of the commission. So all you really need to do is, even if you can grasp a 10% edge that will make you a better trader or a more profitable trader or a more consistent trader, you should look for this. And I think this application will help you in that direction, because it will be a selective of the markets and the signals, and it will be, again, simple to use it. There's no learning curve. It's very small. You guys don't have to code. You don't have to learn about C++ or C#. It's all done before. It's all done for you. It's basically a turnkey solution, and it's going to be systematic. So you're not going to have to decide, do I enter here? I don't enter. Where do I put my stop? Where do I put the target? It's all preset in a window that is customizable, and it will take care of itself. That way it's automatic, it's leverageable, and you guys can, I'm not saying it's relaxing, I'm not saying it's stress-free, I'm not saying it's the way to go and it's guaranteed profits. I'm saying it's a better, more scalable solution to approach especially day trading markets. So this is really the key, I believe, and the message and philosophy behind this application. So Luca, I'm going to switch, and you can start when you're ready.
Are we done with the slides?
Yeah.
Are the slides all done?
Yes. Okay. Then we can probably conclude later, again, with the website, but I would say that I'm going to just go ahead. You can show the charts. And okay.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Hold on a second. All right.
Now, yeah. Okay, good.
Okay, this is the Pro. All right, so this is the application on the My TradeAssist. I also input I added the level on the market, but that's not important right now. So one of the main things that I want to show you is the entry Okay, so let's start with the control panel. I call the MyTrade. You can see MyTradeAssist Pro. This approach is called the Mars for the planets, but like that. But it doesn't matter really. What you want to see is that you can choose the. You can tell the software to take only the algorithm to take only long position, short position, or long and short. I prefer to enter the market with an opinion based on studies where you kind of define the bias that you think for the day. The long and short is great, but I mean, as a professional traders tell you, it's always better to have an idea of what the market is going to do, hopefully the day after. So when we enter today on the crude light, for example, this is a chart of the crude light. The idea was to short the market because if you go on the upper time frames, you will see that the tendency was to be a more bearish trend. So I just set up the short. You just set up the short only button here, and you can choose between a risk. Okay, risk 1-on-1 means that you enter with 2 contracts. Okay, let me open this one for you so you understand better. So this is the other control panel here, and you will see the entry offset means that you will enter with one tick or 2 ticks on a stop. It will enter always on a stop, on a breakout basically of the high or the low whenever there is the condition to enter. So let's say it will place one tick above the high or 1 tick below the low, buy or sell stop. You can decide how many trades in the same direction you can take, so you can have multiple trades in the same direction. I say that 2 or 3 is more than enough. You can define the when to start to look for trades and when to stop ending, basically when ending the trade window. So in my case for crude light, we define the 8 o'clock. This is the old pit time when the crude light used to open at 8 o'clock. Now it's 24 hours. But if you notice on the bottom here, I put the volume because it shows that the actually volumes start to pick up around 8 o'clock. And so I say let's start to look for reliable traders from 8 o'clock until about 2 o'clock Chicago time. And there is a mode, aggressive or normal. Again, aggressive means that it's going to look a little more aggressively for trades, and normal is a little less. Aggressive works better on higher time frame, say 10, 15 minutes and up, and normal better on 5 and below. Position maximum contract and is how many contracts you want to have in the trades, and risk exit multiplier, and these are basically the definition that you're going to give to the trade. So if here is 1/1 means that the first contract will exit 1 time the risk, so basically will become like a free trade, and the second contract will exit at 3 times the risk. Okay, so let's see this in
so we should add, Luca, we should add briefly for people that are new that the algo places the stop automatically. You don't have to worry about the stop, and you don't have to predefine your stop. Then based on the stop loss that it will place, which is always technical stop, so it's below, relative low or above a high, based on that stop, you can define what percentages or what amounts of risk reward are you looking for. So 1/1 would be $200 a stop, $200 would be the profit. Yep. If the stop is 200 and you want a 2 risk reward, then your target will be 400 and so forth. So it's all based on the stop loss that is preset by the algo automatically, and then you define your targets. You can also trade 1 lot. You don't have to trade through 2. You can trade 1 lot. You can trade 2. You can trade in multiples of 2. And so
you can do like 1/2 and it will trade 3 lots. Like 1 will exit, or say 2 exit. If I input here, let's say 2 and 1, it means that the first 2 will exit at 1 time the risk, and the second one will be 3 times the risk. Okay. Yeah. And another thing I forgot to mention is that you can also use the SierraChart trade window if you want to personalize more your entry or exit. So by clicking this one, you have to activate, of course, the SierraChart this one. And at the point, the management of the trades will be done by SierraChart. So the entry will be done by the algorithm, but the stop and entry will be done by whatever you want to define. Okay, so that's just to also talk about that. But let's go back on the original risk-reward trades. That My TradeAssist basically has this kind of logic behind, where there will be the trades will be managed based on the risk that you're going to take. So the exit will be based on the risk. A lot of professionals use that. So you always hear people saying, I need to have a trade with a risk reward 1 to 3, 1 to 2, or and so the software will do that for you. So I told the software to start to look for trades from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock. And so that means that if there are any trades that are long in the meantime, so the green arrow, of course, is a long trade by the algorithm, and the red one are the short entries. Of course, in the choppy area, so when in the middle of the night where you don't want to trade, so you don't want to activate the software in that area. So let's do the chart replay for today. So remember, you're coming in the market thinking that, let me put this here, that the market is going to be in a bearish mood for your reason. We had our reason to think that the market was going down today, and that reason will be explained to whoever wants to know more about the course and the logic behind the selection and the screening that we do for the bias of the different markets. But I want to show you that the market, actually, if I remember, there was maybe a long trade before a short trade. I can't remember now. So these are 10 minutes bar charts, by the way.
And guys, just ignore the support and resistance levels. They are not relevant. Those lines that you see horizontal, they're irrelevant, and they're not part of the, they're not irrelevant, but it's just an additional filter Luca uses. Yeah. But they're not part of the algo, so you don't have to worry.
So you can see here that there was a long trade, but because we told the algorithm to look only for short entries, after 8 o'clock, the signal was ignored. And so you don't take a chance to go long in a day where, it happens that you think, oh, well, there is a good long, I want to take it. And then you at the end of the day, you say, well, I knew the market was going down, I took a long signal, and now I'm paying the price. So the algorithm will say, if you tell me to look only for short, I'm going to go only short, period. So this is the replay from SierraChart. So here we go. The market now, okay, let me pause it 1 second. So we have the entry at 68.66. You can see the number here. It entered with 2 contracts at 68.66, right? Sell stop. It is going to place a buy stop, that is your stop loss, here. I can 68.86. So it's basically $200 stop, and automatically it's going to place the, let me remove the support and resistor. I'm sorry, guys. This is like more advanced stuff that we don't need now. Okay, here you go. So this is the bracket that is going to be placed automatically, 1 times the risk and 2 times the risk. Okay, so there will be a buy limit at 46 and a buy limit at 06. Again, all these one are modifiable via chart. But the suggestion is that unless you have very good reasons, try not to do it. Okay, let's move on. So the market now start to go down, and we should have the first fill soon. The market went up a little bit. I pause it 1 second here because I want to change from points to currency value so we can see the profit and loss better. Okay, here you go. Okay, so the first trade and second trade have been hit now, okay? So if I pause it here, you can see the current profit loss. This trade would be worth $800. You can see it on top here too. And that's it. The stop is canceled automatically, the target are reached, and we can continue and see if there's any other trade. I think there's another trade. I think actually it was stopped out.
Yeah, the beautiful part about Sierra and having this algo is you can go nuts with back testing and the replay functionality, which you can speed up, you can skip times, you can do it for months and years if you really have all that time in your hand. And believe me, we have done our fair share of replaying and back testing, all in order to basically find the best parameters and the best times, the best market conditions to apply this. As Luca said, this is a momentum strategy. It was one of the questions. What kind of logic is behind? This is a momentum strategies, so it looks for range expansions and momentum moves. So it will be key to find those opportunities. So that's why Luca is showing crude oil. Crude oil historically has an ATR higher than most markets, and that is the market that we try to exploit, to take advantage of. Mini Nasdaq is another great market. So you want to look for those markets that offer those momentum opportunities. You don't want to run this on the euro dollar or another markets that does not move, or in days where there are not going to be any movements. But if you are able to select the markets, if you're able to select the times, then you have a really good edge, and then you can have something that automatically will take care of opportunities.
Yeah, so I want to make sure that I didn't just pick up a nice sample. So for example, the second trade was stopped out. So from 800 plus 800, now we are at plus 260. Now here, the part about discretionary trading is there any resistance, sorry, any support at 67? Was it worth it after this big rundown to take also the other sell? Those are the part of trades, the decision about trading that you need to take in consideration. But if you want to let it go completely automatic, that's the result is here. Was 800 the first trade, and now we lost a little bit, but it's still 260. Now, again, there will be probably a long trade here, but we told the algorithm to go only short, so it's not going to fire the buy signal. And let me go a little faster. We can increase the speed of the... Okay, so in this case, there was a short opportunity, but it's not filled, so it's going to cancel the bracket. That's it. Again, a short opportunity. Let's see if it got filled. Probably not, because the momentum is going up, so no short entry. And we're getting close to the end of the day. So yeah, the old pit closed here around 1:30, so I would not take any trade after 1 o'clock or 1:15. There's not enough time to create a good trade.
So just one quicker note. I don't even know the depth and the ins and outs of the logic behind, but I do know that this algo will look for momentum trades as well as key reversal points. So you just saw in the crude oil, Luca told the algo not to take longs, but that is a long signal right there at 11:50 Central Time. So that trade was not taken, but that was definitely a valid opportunity. So again, you can tell the algo go long, go short, or take both long and short opportunity. For sake of the replay, it was not shown, but that would have been a valid opportunity as well.
Yeah, 67. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you're not gonna guess them all right. And again, your best bet will probably be having a predefined idea of what you want to do. Usually that's how professional traders that I know behave. They say, today I'm going to take advantage of long opportunities. Today I'm going to take advantage of short opportunities only. But if you're a genius and you think the market is going to give you both the long and short and you want to go for it, you might want to be turn on both the long and shorts, and the algo will allow you certainly to do so.
Yeah. For example, like I said before, if 67 was for whatever reason a good support, and you say, okay, now I start to look for long reversals, then you can just go from short, you click on long only, and then it would ignore this short and would take the long only. Just, so that's the reason why it's flexible. I want to show you also on a 5 minutes. Again, you can see the trades here after 8 o'clock. There was 8 o'clock is here, so it will be 1, 2, and 3 trades on the bias short that we were thinking the market was going to be. So again, there were good signals. On the NQ, for example, so this one I want to touch briefly about, I mentioned before, the My TradeAssist Pro. You can see here that is a little more complicated window control panel because it will actually exit the entry that you decide to use with different logics based on ATR, risk, or market on close, and also I want to show you that there are different entry logics. See, the control panel is much more complicated, but not super complicated. I mean, you will learn pretty easily, but so there's a Stella setup that is pretty much a kind of a pullback retracement logic. The Mars is more a momentum, and the Saturn is more like top and bottom, kind of like, looking for, so for example, the little stars, you see the blue, baby blue stars, these are the Saturn signals, and the arrow is still the Mars, and the little squares are the, in this case, the retracement. It would go short here, so short on the Stella signal. And this just to touch base on this, the market on close, you can define when to exit, flat everything at predefined time, and there are 2 different sessions you can define. And if I go here, I don't want to do too much stuff, otherwise you're going to be bored and confused, but there are way different way to define the ATR, exit, and the logic for the exit, and many other things that is not the subject of this webinar. But I want to just make sure that you know that the Pro is available, it's being used, and for example, it doesn't enter only on a stop; it can enter on a market, the entry offset, number of trades. So there are many more features and options on this on the Pro, of course. So let me close this 1 second. So this was the NQ in 10 minutes. So again, the arrows pointing down are the Mars signals. I want to show you also, for example, on wheat. Again, this is the normal one. I have my other support and resistance, but it works on any market really. It could be anything that can be used on a SierraChart, from commodities to equities, stock index to forex, to anything really. And you can see again the short signals are great, and they were able to identify very good trades. I see gold. Gold has been a downtrend, and we have 2 good signals here. Yen, so this is the daily. So if I go, let's say, on a 10 minutes, you can just, one of the things about the My TradeAssist Pro is that you can define the bias automatically. And by that, I mean that you can, see there is a bias here. So you don't have to define the bias will be defined by the algorithm. And so in this case, for example, if I go on the yen, and the algorithm, one of the biases, for example, simple moving average, exponential moving average. So if the market is above the moving average, so the bias, the momentum is up, then what happens is that the algorithm will take only the long signals and will ignore automatically the short signals. and you can tell that by after 7 o'clock there were like 1, 2 good trades, and the third one was stopped, but there was a small one. What else? Gold, we saw this, yen, RTY. So pretty much this is the software. If you have any questions, please let us know.
There's a bunch of questions that I've been trying actually to address individually, but I think some of these are worth repeating publicly to the entire audience. So obviously, the software, if you have a demo with Infinity on Infinity AT Sierra, or if you have a live account or Sim Live, of course, you can definitely use the replay functionality and really go crazy. If you take off from the trade menu on Sierra, if you take off the trade simulation mode on, those trades will end up on your AT DOM and control panel. So that was one of the questions. Another question was, can you run all the three strategy, Mars, Stella, and Saturn at the same time? The answer is yes. It could be a little bit overwhelming. Consider also that both the simple My TradeAssist as well as the TradeAssist Pro can actually take multiple entries consecutively, meaning add-ons. So you're in a trade, the software will still give you additional entry if the momentum is particularly strong in the same direction. So you can do add-ons. Of course, you can limit the add-ons, but there is also the opportunity to go long another second contract or a third contract and so forth if you're already along. So if you can definitely run them all at the same time. You can run portfolios at the same time, meaning soybeans, Bund, crude oil, and NASDAQ. That is the scalability of an algorithm system. So of course, it still can be, as I said, overwhelming, and you might want to be on top of the situation. But yeah, that is the full capability.
Number of trades in the same direction is, in this case, just one. So you tell the algorithm, I don't want to take more than one signal in the same direction that I decide to go. If I want to go short only, I want to take one signal at a time. But if I input, let's say, 3, then if there are 3 signals and they are not stopped yet, so that you will have 3 positions. But generally speaking, it's always better to make 2 or 3 because otherwise you're risking to have the reversal. So the last signals is less reliable. The question is, so the idea to run all 3 the different logics at the same time is kind of tricky. I'll be honest with you. I say that the best idea will run maybe 2 at a time, and in my experience, the best result would be if you have maybe a sub-account and you can run each strategy maybe in a different account, at least two of them, in order to, because the engine of Sierra sometimes get overwhelmed by all the trades that happens. So that's my experience, and I will say that I would not suggest to run all 3 at the same time. But it's something we can work on again in the future. The idea was to have this available. So some people are more like, they like to see a breakout and to enter on a reversal or on a retracement. And so that's the reason why there are 3 different logics. But again, this is the advanced one, and I would say that is better for some, unless somebody is an advanced trader, already a professional trader, and wants to try directly this one. I would say that it's better to start with the simple one that has only the Mars, that is more like the momentum entry. And when you get used to that, then you can go to the Pro and try, if you like better, the retracement entry that is a Stella, or the top and try to pick the top and the bottom with the Saturn. So that's my suggestion.
Yeah, it's plenty in our experience, and we've been dealing with this for several months now. Also trading live, it's just plenty to even just stick with the My TradeAssist, just the the simple version, because if you do a proper selection, it will still give you plenty of opportunities. You choose a portfolios of markets, you choose your timing, you choose your time frame. Time frame was one another question, by the way. So once you have selected all of this, you can still have plenty of opportunities, and then you just let the algo take care of the rest. So as far as time frame, look at, if you want to address it, I mean, I obviously know the answer, but you can go ahead and why don't you, let's give you.
Yeah, well, again, via SierraChart, you can use this on any kind of time frame you want. Of course, you know, so you can try to do scalping if you want to go down to 1 or 2 minutes, or use tick charts. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with SierraChart, but you can select so many different kinds of charts, from volume bar to ticks to range to Renko to delta volume bars. So you can use the algorithm to kind of accommodate what you're used to. You know, we have people that love to use, I don't know, Renko or range bar, and it will work on that too. For what we saw, 5-10 minutes is great for good clean signals. And again, it depends on the market and the condition of the market. The market is always changing, and so if the markets are very choppy, maybe you want to use a little higher time frame. Otherwise, you know, you're going to get chopped to pieces. If there is a lot of range, a lot of momentum, then you can go down to a lower time frame because the stops are more reasonable. You know, you can go down to 2-3 minutes, and it's okay, because the stop maybe is too big if you are trading a 5 or 10 or 15 minutes time frame. Again, everything depends on your account, so every situation is different. You don't know, you know, if you have $5,000 or $50,000, you can take different kind of trades and with different kind of number of contracts too. So all these are like very flexible. And one thing, you know, again, you can move through the chart, the stop loss or the target, they're not fixed. Let's say, you know, going back to the systematic trading, on my strategies they're running, they're systematic. I cannot go on the server and modify it because now I think that the stop is too large, or the target will never reach. I cannot do that. Here you can do that. You can just modify the target. There is any kind of news, you know, there is the flatten cancel everything button. You can just flat everything whenever you want. You're not stuck and wait for the code to tell you, okay, now you exit, now you enter. It's still flexible enough that you can input your own ideas and opinion. My suggestion is that you try to do that less possible, but you can do that. Any other questions?
Yeah, there were a few. Lisa wanted to know how it did on the mini S&P today. If you want to show it. Not a market we trade a lot, Lisa, but if it does offer good volatility, why not? Again, we usually focus more on mini Dow, mini Nasdaq, and mini Russell. Those three are usually they offer plenty of good opportunities. But mini S&P, sometimes as well.
All right, so this is the mini S&P on a 10 minutes. So we had the starting, another thing we don't like to do too much is we have to wait a little bit, but 840, 850. But so if you start at 830, that is here, we had a long signal, classic fake. It was stopped, then we had a good short entry. And then nothing going on until 12:30, I guess, 12:20. There was a long signal, another long signal, the rally.
Yeah. And those are the add-ons that I was mentioning before. So you can see how it went long at 74.75 the first, but if you are selected to add positions, it would have gotten long again at 79, again at 83, and so forth. So you know, it's aggressive. But if the market really rips higher and it's got strong momentum, then you can, you know, and you have the money to withstand all that, the leverage, you can certainly do that. While you do that,
now 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yes. So there was a short signal here, it was good. A long signal, maybe went to break even. Two short signals, then again, long was good, long, okay. Never stopped all the way to the close. So yeah, it was a pretty good day, I think, on the S&P with the algorithm.
You know what, before we wrap up, there's several questions regarding the cost. So the cost is a lease, and the My TradeAssist, which is the one that we're trying to focus right now to our customers because it's a little bit simpler and again offers plenty of opportunities. You don't have to go to the Pro, which actually is the original. So this is how, taking a step back, My TradeAssist Pro was actually developed for professional traders. Then Luca said, okay, now that I have this program, I want to create something for retail traders. So the My TradeAssist, the regular, is for retail traders, and I think it's a good starting point for everybody there, even for experienced traders. Anyways, the cost is a lease. I believe it's $98 a month, Luca, the discounted version.
Yeah.
But again, just not trying to push or pressure anybody. If you're really serious about this, you should really consider the coaching because it comes with a ton of bet testing resources and work that has been done to support all of this. So not only the professional package that comes, but also what are the best times, what are the best filters, how do you filter market, how do you filter the bias, and so forth. So it's been done a ton of work behind it. If you're not an experienced trader, you don't have something already that is super solid, you might just run the algo without knowing what you're doing. And then, yeah, it might work, but it's not going to be maximizing the potential. So the coaching would probably be the best way for you. I think we probably just a couple of last questions. You go for it. So if you have something to say, go. I'm going to just, I have a lot of questions, guys. If you want to address them maybe via email as well, it's okay. Luca, you want to, mytradeassist.com is the website. There's I think the email is info@mytradeassist.com, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a recording will probably be available after is edited and posted on YouTube channel, the YouTube channel for Infinity Future, youtube.com/Infinity Futures. Is there a trial period? That's a great question, Francesco. We're trying to basically, there isn't a demo version, so to speak. So whatever version is the live version, we can give demos like maybe a week demo, Luca. It's really up to you.
Yeah.
To anybody that is serious, yeah, if you're serious about it and you really want to take advantage, we can give you a peek for free. It works with it works from the charts that it talks to the DOM. We already talked about this. Yeah, you can backtest in and check your trade statistics on from the SierraChart trade activity log. This one we're done. Some of the questions we already addressed, so I'm not gonna go too deep into those. The web address we discussed. Yeah, I mean, pretty much that's it. I see a lot of questions. I hope I'm not skipping anybody. The logic behind we discussed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my point is this: if you have a good knowledge of the way the market moves, if you can have an idea, is great because you can just apply the algorithm and see if you have good entries, so you don't have to worry about when to enter, when to exit. So again, if you are an expert in market profile or market delta or whatever is your expertise, you can try to combine the two things. But if somebody is a absolute beginners or are mostly beginners, my suggestion is that you probably take the course and understand how to read the market, how to prepare for the market, because I think honestly almost that is the real secret. The analysis, the briefing pre-open, so today the market closes, okay, what we're going to do tomorrow, say on crude light, do we trade, or you don't have to, first of all, you don't have to trade every day. That's another point. If there are no conditions, you don't have to trade every day. You can do a radar screen and say, okay, tomorrow we have opportunities on, let's say, soybeans and British pound. Okay, you can do that. But if you want to just be on crude light and say NQ, you don't have to trade every day. If there are no conditions, you don't trade. If tomorrow the condition is for a reversal long, okay, so you just apply the long automatically, or you activate the algorithm in an area, near an area where you think there will going to be a support. So you just wait for the market to give you your prediction. We don't know if it's right or not, but at least pretty much if you have a good idea where the market is going to be, chances are that there is going to be a signal by the algorithm.
Last question I will take, because I think it's a good one, and I think it's got some points that need to be explored. Nash is asking, how often is the algo updated? So the algo is not updated very often, but since it's not a black box, it doesn't need to be. The beauty of this is it is a gray box. You have control over the parameters. You can decide based on ATR, based on the volatility ranges, what is it that you want to take out of the market based on the time frame. You are the one in charge of certain critical parameters that will dictate the algo activity and engagement in the market. So it's all done before, and it basically is self-customizable. It doesn't need a lot of curve fitting or optimization at the code level, because again, through the access via panel, you can decide, first of all, the stop, it will be varied on the bar. So it will be already pre-adjusted based on the volatility. And then everything else will be according to that or according to your analysis. So if you think the market is going to explode and you want to take 5 times the risk on a trade, great. If you think the market is already compressed, you can only take 1 time the risk. So you don't really need a lot of optimization. I think what Luca was trying to say before is that he will go, if necessary, and review the code, maybe add in some different, parameters that could actually make it even better. So, but again, it's a customizable gray box. It's not a black box, and I don't really believe in black boxes, not for a long time. This one is actually a robust logic that could last, through the years.
Yeah, maybe I didn't express myself very well before. So when I say that the software is monitored by me, it means that if there is any kind of problem, and with software there are always problems. I mean, a new bug, a new version of Sierra, something is not working, then I'm actively working on fixing any kind of problem that the software is showing, even though so far so good. After many months of beta testing, everything is fine, but there will be always something going on, and if there is, for example, a new setup or something they need to modify on the old one, I'll do it. But this logic has been working now for a long time, and so they're pretty robust, and I don't think they are going to change it soon, or ever maybe. So yeah, it's not that every month we're going to change stuff around, not at all.
Okay. So anyway, guys, thanks again for participating. Thanks, Luca, for giving us a peek of this new application. Everybody that is interested in having a demo or signing up, you're welcome to do so. You can contact Luca at MyTradeAssist.com, the website. The email is info@MyTradeAssist.com. There's a plugin on the Infinity Futures website. If you go to the plugins, I don't have the access to the screen, but if you go to the plugins, there's also contact forms where you can sign up there and request more information. For now, I thank you very much. I hope you guys all had a great summer. If you have any more questions, my name is Marco Bertuglia. I'm with Infinity Futures. You can email me directly to or contact your representative at Infinity, okay? Thanks again all. And
Marco, just say that, if they have any questions, they can send an email. Also, if I'm not trading or doing stuff, programming stuff like that, there is a chat on the website. They can ask me question there, and I will respond as soon as possible. But they can contact me also via chat.
Excellent. All right. Very good. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks again. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you very much for attending. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.